Okay, we are live. What's going on? Trip Kramer here from tripadvice.com doing another Tuesday live session, but this one is going to be very special because this one I'm doing with a special guest. And that special guest is a friend of mine, a colleague of mine. His name is Spencer Burnett, and he's honestly one of the best dating and life coaches that I know. And he has a way of being able to combine both in such a way that you are going to be able to successfully attract women while also producing an amazing life. And if you've ever seen Spencer before, maybe on some videos of mine, I've had him come on and talk about various things like Snapchat, things like that. And he's just really amazing. And he's one of the few people that I really endorse. You know, if anyone ever wants coaching from a dating coach, I, almost all the time send those guys to him so, they can get some of the best coaching out there because Spencer produces results. And so today we have a very special presentation that we're going to be doing for you, and it's going to be run by Spencer. He created this. This is his information, which again, I fully endorse, and he's going to be talking about the 7 qualities of a man that make a woman melt, that attract women. And he's got this down to a science, and he's here for you today to be sharing this. And I want you to stick around until the very end because Spencer is going to be offering something that's going to be very helpful for you that you're going to want to learn about. But either way, what's most important right now is that you meet Spencer if you haven't seen him before. So Spencer, what's up, man?
What's going on, Trip? I'm glad to be here, man.
I'm glad to have you, dude. So just, tell a little about yourself. I know that we have a little time here to do a little bit of an introduction and say how you got started in all this, and then we can start the presentation.
Well, I became a dating coach at about 2009, 2010, and just kind of getting my ideas out there of how I was failing and trying to become successful with women. And as I continued to fail forward, as that's how you succeed, I started kind of documenting stuff and helping other guys out. And soon I was helping out a few guys. They started paying me, and then my career took off. And from there, I was teaching, pickup and dating just to start. And then I really got into teaching like seduction, foreplay, and sex. And then I got into some more advanced stuff like triad relationships and polyamorous relationships, and really how to attract women by almost doing nothing, kind of like breaking all of the rules of seduction and of pickup and making it, once you understand the kind of like these secrets that I'm about to show you guys today, you don't have to be that smooth. You don't have to be that clever to be charismatic, to draw women in and to hit that part in their brain where they're like, I have to be with this man. It's not even an option. Like, and any man can do this. And I've proven that over the 7 or 8 years that I've been doing this, that absolutely any man can do it. Young, old, rich, poor, heavy, thin, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as you have these qualities.
Awesome. So that's what we're going to be going over right now. So Spencer, why don't you pull up the presentation and get ready, and we'll get into it. Again, if you're just joining us now for the first time, we are going to be talking about the 7 qualities of a man that attract a woman, okay? And these are things that, again, Spencer has been studying and figuring out and kind of deducing to, these specific 7 qualities. And what's really cool is he's not going to just tell you the 7 qualities, but he's going to be also giving you kind of like action steps, like, okay, it's great to know a quality, but what are you going to do with that? So Spencer is going to be able to go over that. So you got that presentation pulled up yet, Spencer?
Yes, I do. Can you see it? You see it here? Do I need to go full screen?
Go full screen.
All right.
Cool, man. We're ready to rock. So everyone pay attention, get cozy. We're going to, go over some good stuff, and then we're going to do a Q&A. And then, like I said, stick around to the very end because we have something very special for you. Spencer, take it away.
All right, guys. Well, first, I wanted you guys know who me and Trip are. We just talked about that now. And next, I want to talk to you guys what you're going to learn in this presentation. Now, first of all, we're going to learn to attract women because that's ultimately what we want to do. That's what this channel is all about, and that's why we're here. But the thing is a lot of times you feel like you have to be something different, okay? And you don't have to be different than what you already are to attract the women that you want and attract the women that you even feel are out of your league, okay? So you don't have to change who you are. You don't have to learn, what to say. I get that question a lot, and Trip, I'm sure you do too. Like, what do I say in order to get her to do what I want? And it's not about that. And that's what I'm going to show you today. And it's also not about being in shape or good looking or being extravagantly wealthy or even, super interesting. Like you've got a crazy career, like a baseball player or a musician or something. Okay. Now here's what makes this different than most seduction strategies is this is an inside out strategy. And let me explain what I mean by that. Okay. An outward strategy is, here's this pickup line to say, go say it to this girl and she'll like you. Now that might work, but once she likes you, it was the line that got the girl. So what's going to keep her? You can't be getting fed lines over and over again, or else you're never going to stand on your own 2 feet. And eventually that attraction that you caused is going to slip through your fingers. And she's ultimately going to see that, all you were was one clever line. Okay. Now, this is a more passive way to attract women. This isn't about going out and running pickup and running game and constantly swiping right and left to find your match. This is about embodying these qualities that emanate an energy from you to women that flips a part in her brain that makes it almost impossible for her to resist you. See, if you want to attract a woman, then you've got to learn how to say the right things. If you want to seduce a woman and get her to be infatuated with you, you've got to do the right things. But if you want a woman obsessed with you, if you want to flip the switch in a woman's mind that says, I must breed with this man, then you have to embody these qualities. And notice I said breed with this man. I didn't say I need to sleep with this man, because women use sex for a lot of things. They use it for fun, release, revenge, love, whatever it is. But when you hit the part in a woman's brain that I'm talking about, the deepest part of the reptilian mind, she looks at you as someone that she needs to breed with. And what that does to her behavior is she can't stop thinking about you. She can't stop wanting to talk to you, be with you, touch you. And again, this works universally with any guy to any woman. You basically just point your compass in her direction and press play, and it works. Okay. Now, who this presentation is not for is guys that are looking for simple tricks to attract women, and guys that, because the tricks are simply that, they're just tricks. And if you've got, those guys that you see that when they hit the dance floor, they've got that one good move, and it's a good move, right? But then, as they continue to dance, it just kind of gets old and lame. That's what tricks do. It's like you're a one-trick pony, or maybe 2 or 3. You say the right things, or you get her in a scenario of which you're the cool guy, a place where you're social proofed. But after that, there's not much substance to you. And this also is not for guys who aren't serious about investing in themselves, because if you want a wealth of experiences with women, then you have to invest in you. If you want a certain experience, or if you just want to get laid, look up some pickup lines and a couple of those strategies, and you'll get that. But if you want a never-ending stream of women to be obsessed with you, then this is who that is for. Okay. So this is for guys who want to diversify their portfolio, meaning that you not only know how to pick up a girl, but you also know how to escalate it sexually, how to get her hooked and want to be your girlfriend, and then keep her as your girlfriend. So you are the one that is in control. You are the one that is in control of the destiny of this relationships. And so this is going to take you permanently on to a whole nother level of attraction of women that most men will never reach, because most men want short answers, and they don't want to embody these qualities. They want to kind of be reactive and get things quickly. But if you take a little bit of time, and I'm not talking a college education of 4 or 8 years, it's just a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, which most men are not willing to put up with, you will reach these heights that puts you beyond an alpha male. Okay. Now we all know that, or we've all heard the phrase that 90% or 10% of the men get 90% of the women. And we call those men alpha males. And we've worked so hard to become this type of alpha male, but there is a version of a man that's even higher than an alpha male, that an alpha male can't even compete with. And I'm going to tell you what that is at the end of this presentation. Okay, so this works for absolutely anybody. It doesn't work for just me. It doesn't just work for Trip. This works for anybody. So one of my clients is a guy named Brendan, and all of these guys have become friends of mine. Any of the guys that I work with, we ultimately become buddies. But my buddy Brandon is 30 years old. He was naturally shy. He was thin, and he owns a software company. So like by most standards, like women should like him all right. Well, he took some pickup classes. He did some boot camps. He bought some courses and learned all of the basics and some of the more advanced stuff of pickup, but he just wasn't getting the results that he wanted. And once he learned how to embody these 7 qualities and do the exercises and drills that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today, he was able to take his dating to a whole nother level. And now this guy dates women who like really have their stuff together, that have like careers. He dates doctor girls, doctor women, and women that are engineers, and like really, really beautiful, intelligent, smart, and sexy women. And it was after he learned these things. Okay. I want to let you guys know that being nice, well, what do we have here? Okay. So my point on this one is learning what to say doesn't work. So once you learn what to say to women, that doesn't necessarily get you that lifestyle that Brandon got. Next here is my buddy David. And this guy was the nicest guy in the world, but that doesn't work either. Okay. Saying the right thing and being nice simply doesn't work. He was 42 years old. He was kind of a chubby guy. He was a corporate manager for a Fortune 500 or 100 company. He had 3 grown kids, and he was always known as the nice guy. People liked him. He had money. He had a great job, but for some reason, he wasn't getting the quality of women that he wanted. And now this guy is dating, there's 21-year-old girls he's been dating, and also some of the most beautiful women in the city of Chicago. That's where I live, and that's where this guy is too. But it was only once he embodied these 7 qualities that he got to that next level. Next, being rich does not work either. Okay, my guy Sam, 26-year-old, is an average looking dude. A little bit shy, but nervous, sells luxury cars and real estate. This guy has one of the dopest cars I've ever seen. He's got I think it's an Audi A8. It's beautiful, but really still struggled with women. And he had everything. And he's a better than average looking guy, but he has the money, wasn't that shy, but kind of nervous around them. He started trying to fix his nervousness, and that still didn't work. But once he embodied these qualities, it took him completely to the next level. And next, my buddy Eric. Now, this guy was very shy, probably considered nerdy. He was short. He was 5'7", okay? 26-year-old computer programmer, learned pickup. I believe he went to some RSD classes or the Better Man thing. Is that a thing, Trip? Better Man? Is that a program? I can't remember. But anyways, so I remember he got.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never heard of it, but yeah.
Well, he did one of those programs, and this guy's pickup, I'm telling you guys, this guy was better at pickup than almost anyone I have ever seen. And I've been in the industry for a long time, and I coach a lot of dating coaches as well. This guy was awesome. But when it came to transitioning into getting what he really wanted, which was a girlfriend, he couldn't do it. And so he couldn't smooth talk his way into the thing that he wanted. And I remember I asked this guy, how many girls are you talking to? And there was a Sunday morning where he was hungover, and I was like, and he was texting girls to see if they wanted to come over or whatever. And I was like, how many girls did you text? The answer was 56. So he was talking to 56 girls at one time, but still couldn't get the results. So what did all these guys have in common? Okay. They assumed that true seduction was by something that you do. But the truth is that most seduction is about who you are. So they thought that it was 20%, 80% what you do and 20% who you are. But in fact, it is the other way around. Now, the hard part is like when you're when you're trying to get across who you are to women, like if you say, hey, I'm a really nice guy that's really clever and I'm really smart, like that, they don't buy that. You have to demonstrate it. And that's what makes it kind of intangible. But I'm going to show you guys how to work on these skills so you can demonstrate it as soon as tomorrow or even tonight. Okay. So actions speak louder than words. Showing a woman who you are is the most powerful way of telling her who you are. So like I said, if you guys take a look at any of your, if you're on like online dating or whatever, I see guys make this mistake all the time where they say, where they're like, hey, I'm a soccer player. I like my friends and family. I'm really funny. And I have a great job. Well, instead of saying that, like, I'm really funny, instead put something funny on there, put a joke on there. I was trying to tell a girl a joke, and on my profile, I wrote that there was a kidnapping near my house, and I had women hitting me back being like, oh my gosh, I did this on Snapchat. And when we're like, oh my gosh, what happened? I'm like, don't worry about it. He woke up. Does anyone get that one? Kidnapping, he was sleeping, whatever. All right, so demonstrating who you are. What's more powerful than showing her who you are is when she takes notice with you without you having to say it at all. So women are observers. They are watching what you do to see who you are because they know that men are liars. They know that their talk is cheap. So the language that women speak is action. Women, if you're ever around women, she always says, you see the way that girl looked at me? All of these things, all these subtle cues that pass by most guys, women notice all of this behavior because words are easy and actions never lie. There's one thing that can never lie, and it's your physiology. And so you have to learn how to behave in order to get women to become obsessed with you. Otherwise, they question your validity. All right, so what are these 7 qualities that make women melt? Okay, the first quality is to be the social chameleon. Now, what this means is you have to be comfortable and confident in any situation. This means with, at a work function of your own, a work function of hers. It could be anything from a birthday party of a toddler they don't know to a wake or a funeral. You've got to be able to be comfortable and confident in any situation. Again, to switch that primal switch in a woman's mind, one of those switches is safety. Am I safe around this man? Will my children be safe around this man? Her mind is thinking that whether she wants to have babies with you or not, or babies at all, this is what her brain is asking her, that is looking at you saying yes or no. Will I be safe? And so if you can lead her socially, then she can be safe. Because this is why we're shy. This is why we have approach anxieties, because we're inherently afraid of strangers and of new situations. So if you're confident, you're in. So the ability to have a conversation with anyone about anything. Like if you can go into an old folks home and sit there for an hour and have a conversation with any single one person, then you have one of the most powerful gifts in the world, with women and with networking, sales, money, a job, anything, okay? So next, you need to know how to take over a room. Now, this is your typical kind of, Van Wilder, most popular guy, in the room, attributes. And you have to know not only how to do that, but you need to know when to take over the room, and then when it's smarter to just be an observer. Because if you know how to take over a room and that's just your shtick every time you get into a social situation, you might look insecure, honestly. Okay. So here is an exercise that I use that really, really helps you build this social chameleon attributes. Because again, the purpose of it is, can you talk about anything to anyone at any time? Because if you can, then all that's left is your intention. Like, what are you trying to get out of this conversation? And the energy that you bring to it, making sure that that you're not mumbling, that you're making eye contact, all the basic, social exercises. Or attributes. So this is called the thread card conversation exercise. And it's very, very simple. So first thing you do is you create a bunch of random words. Now, I actually, these are the cards that I use with my guys right here. And you can see a couple of them are in different handwriting, because I have people write just literally random words. You can go online and type in random word generator and have a computer algorithm, crank out some words. Doesn't matter what it is. And so what you do is you flip over the card and you start talking for 60 seconds. Now, I'll give you an example of that. Japan. First of all, I've never been to Japan before, or really any Asian countries. But I actually saw a Family Guy episode where they were making fun of Chinese, Japanese, because I think from the U.S. perspective, we have a hard time telling different cultures. But for Chinese and Japanese, it's kind of like Americans and Canadians. So anyways, there's my little rant on that. I want
to try one.
Okay.
Try one. Hit me with one. Let's see what I can do.
All right. I actually have my cards right next to me. Captain Crunch, go.
Captain Crunch. I remember Captain Crunch was a cereal that I always hated. It was my least favorite cereal when I was a kid. True story. I loved Fruit Loops. And Fruit Loops and Cookie Crunch were the best thing. And here's the weirdest part about it, is that when I ate cereal as a kid, I never, ever used milk. In fact, I didn't use milk in my cereal until I was maybe in my late teens. And I always got made fun of for eating dry cereal. Really quickly, I just want to add what I did right there. I just kind of showed you guys that you don't even need to stay on the topic. All he said was Captain Crunch. I didn't need to talk about Captain Crunch for the next 30 seconds to a minute. I could have easily taken that, which I did, and went to another topic of conversation because it just flowed. So it's not even that important to have to stick to the actual topic.
Right. And this is the basic version of this exercise. When I work one-on-one with guys, we do different exercises. We do a wingman exercise. So for instance, we would start talking about the word salsa. I would talk for 30 seconds, and then the game is talk for 30 seconds and incorporate my buddy by giving him a compliment into the conversation. So it would go like this. Salsa is one of my favorite foods. It's low calorie. It tastes delicious. I love chips, and I put it on absolutely everything. When I make a salsa, I have my special ingredient is seedless cucumbers. And actually, you know what? Trip makes a salsa too. It's got a little bit different of a flair to it. What was that salsa that you made, Trip? That it was at that party that you did or that you had, and it was like the first thing gone. Everyone was raving about it. So now I incorporate Trip into that exercise. Right. So there's other games too where it's like we pick a word, and at the end of 60 seconds, you have to ask this girl on a date. So, and what this does is it gives you the ability to take any topic of conversation and turn it into you asking her on a date. So that's a little bit more advanced with it. All you want to do to start is get comfortable being able to talk about anything for 60 seconds. So my suggestion is do this in the mirror, look yourself in the face, and also record it and watch it. Most people, when they hear their own voice on a recording, they're like, oh, I really sound like that. Or when they watch themselves on video, it's hard. I mean, Trip, I'm sure you can relate to this. I mean, you make videos all day and it's still sometimes hard to see yourself on video. But most people don't know what they look like when they speak. And if you know what you look like and you're certain of the way you're coming off, that's going to give you a massive amount of confidence that almost no man has. I work with some of the smoothest playboys in Chicago and around the country. And when they do this, they have a hard time. But once they catch on, it magnifies their ability to be social, to be and for women to take notice. So doing this exercise, you could do it with friends. You can do it alone. But it is single-handedly the most powerful social exercise that I have ever come across. Try doing this. Try doing 10 or 15 of these before you go out and notice how much better you are at having conversations. Then after this, after you learn how to talk about any topic of conversation, after that, all you need to do is listen for threads when people speak. And if they talk about scuba diving, if they talk about traveling, whatever word that is in there, you can go on to the conversation and talk about it. Super powerful exercise. All right. So next attribute is an immovable master plan. Okay. Women want a man that's going somewhere. Okay. You might think that that women want men that have something, that have the car, the job, the money. That is not true, because in my experience personally, I've been a man that has had a lot of things, a nice car, a nice house, and all of that, and really didn't have a plan afterwards. And I've also been and got a certain reaction from women. I've also been a man who didn't have a lot, but was hungry to achieve his major goal. And that, I'm telling you, that draws women in way more than a Mercedes or a BMW or a 3,000 square foot house. So you have to know where you're going in life. You have to be doing something with your life. You need to be chasing something that's bigger than you. And when she sees that you're actively chasing your dreams and taking the steps and succeeding, like you're making progress, it's one of the most important elements in whether she qualifies, whether she wants to be with you or not. Now, the most important part of this whole thing is that your plan and your goal has to be more important to you than the relationship that you have with her. Okay. Now, notice I didn't say it has to be more important than her as a human being. I mean, that's different. More important than the relationship with her. I have seen it so many times, guys. I've seen it so many times. And if you're dating a girl and it's going well and you're like, yes, dear this, yes, dear that, I'm free any day. I'll move my schedule. I'll work my schedule around you. No, that's not what she wants to see. That's what she wants to see once you're married. Okay. But she needs to see the way that you're going to treat her once she becomes number one in your life. And you're going to do that by demonstrating how you sacrifice for your master plan, how you scheme for your master plan, how you will go through hell and high water to get that thing that you want. Because once she sees that attribute, and then she's like, oh man, if I'm his number one, I see the way that he's going to treat me. And you want her competing for that number one spot in your life. So if you are crazy about this girl, if you don't have a plan that you're more crazy about, you're going to lose it. It's only a matter of time that you're going to lose it. In fact, I haven't seen it work. I haven't seen it work where you didn't lose it, other than it works, but she completely owns you and you're basically like her pet. So having the master plan is absolutely key. So here's how you create a master plan and have it be effective in the way that you attract women. So you need to write out your biggest goals and you need to make it visible. Okay. Like if you guys saw behind me, I know you can see the PowerPoint right now, but if you saw behind me, there's a whiteboard. And on this whiteboard, I'm actually doing this 100-day monster challenge where I'm removing dairy, gluten, sugar, alcohol, drugs, TV, and no FAP for 100 days. That's on my board. So when you walk into my house, you see that. Like that's what I'm going after. So I make it visible. Okay. Next, I'm going to go to the third one. You refer to your goals when you're having conversations with her. Like a lot of times we make the mistake about one, bragging about what we already have, or two, constantly asking, oh, well, what about you? What about you? So, and asking her conversations about her. You need to talk about your goals and your dreams. And you need to demonstrate in the way that you speak to her that you're the type of guy that's going to take those dreams, grip it by the neck and shake it till it stops moving, and then bring it back to your cave and eat it. Like that's that masculine power that women are attracted to. And so the way that you don't just have to have big goals. You also have to be constantly making progress. Because if you have big goals and you're not making progress, that just makes you a dreamer and a wannabe. And that is almost more of a turnoff than not having any goals at all. Maybe not as much, but it's not much better. Okay. So every single day right here, you see on the right-hand side, this is my notebook. And I use this notebook religiously every single day. And I did it this morning. I did it the morning before, and I will do it tomorrow. I will wake up in the morning and I will write down 3 things that I need to accomplish, that I need to do in order to move one step closer to my goal. And then at the end of the day, I evaluate that. Not only is this going to get you moving towards your goal, but this is going to give you the confidence when you speak that when I say things, I do things. And when you are a man of your word like that, there's absolutely nothing more sexy to a woman than a man that is consistently making progress. So try that exercise out. Make sure your big goals are visible for all to see. Also to keep it on your mind. And then every single day, and seriously guys, this takes 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. Write down the 3 things that you can do to move closer to your goal. At night, review and see if you did those things. Try that for 30 days. I promise you, your life will change and you will be massively more attractive to women because these qualities will start to kind of emanate from you. Attribute number 3, failing gracefully. Now, most guys try to avoid failing in front of women because you don't want to be seen as weak. You don't want to be seen as a loser. You don't want to seem like you're a guy that's damaged or got taken advantage of or got outsmarted or your plan didn't work out. We don't want to expose that. That isn't what women want to see. Women have to see you try. They need to see you confidently and consistently taking action to become something bigger than yourself, bigger than you are now. And they need to see you fail. And the reason that they need to see you fail is because a relationship is just a series of wins and losses of things that you're doing right and things that you're doing wrong. And this is the secret of invincibility. And you can demonstrate that you're invincible to women by doing this. By when you win, you continue to do those things. When you lose, you take a look at it, go back to the drawing board, turn that failure into wisdom by learning what you did wrong, and then moving forward, okay? So she's not just interested in the pinnacles. She wants to share those to you, she might be, women that you don't know might be interested in your pinnacles, but if you're starting to meet a woman, she's going to judge you by your true character. And your true character is, who are you when you fall flat on your face? How do you deal with failure? How you deal with failure is going to demonstrate your strength, your humility, and your tenacity. Now, again, the kind of alpha male mindset is like, no, win constantly, show no failure, no pain, no pain. That is true, and that does make you an alpha male. But what I'm showing you here today transcends and is what women want more than an alpha male. And I'll explain what that thing is exactly at the end of this. Okay. So how to apply this? 1, put yourself out there. Okay. Like, do big things, do hard things. If you were to write one caption in your Tinder profile and it was, I do hard things, like that would attract women. not just because of the sexual innuendo, but because women want men that have tenacity, not necessarily always winning. Okay. Acknowledge your mistakes and your failures and vocally create a new plan. Okay. Hey, if you're working at your job and you're an investor, hey, this investment didn't work out. I made some mistakes. I got in too late. I left too early. I made a poor judgment. In the future, my next steps are going to be A, B, and C, and then go apply those things. Life is a series of many failures that you're constantly correcting to be going in the right direction. And when a woman sees this, she wants to attach herself to a man that has this quality, because what that means is you can apply that to her failures. And now she's no longer so scared to fail, which makes her feel safe, which flips that very, very, very deep down switch in her mind. So I want you guys to memorize this, okay? So when I'm talking about failures, I'm not just talking about life failures. I'm talking about failures with her as well. I'm talking about failures with her especially, okay? We all think that we want to be perfect in front of women. And again, that's not what they're looking for. You actually will score more points with a woman let me put it this way. If you are perfect, if you're absolutely perfect all the time, she will love you a certain amount. But if you are perfect most of the time, and then she sees you screw up, and then she sees you make up for that screw up, she will be more attracted to you then than if you never screwed up in the first place. This sounds totally counterintuitive, but failure is an opportunity to have her love you and adore you more. So certainly do not run from it. And in fact, once you fail, once you do something dumb, with her, you said something you shouldn't have, or you did something you shouldn't have, don't run from it. Attack it head on and use this line. Which, by the way, guys, this line right here, when people ask me what is the most powerful tip you can give guys to attract or to be attractive to women, this is it right here. Learn how to apologize in a way that makes her love you more than before you screwed up. And here's what it is. I am so sorry that I called your mother a cow, right? Whatever the mistake was. I didn't mean to make you feel so hurt, and I didn't mean to make you feel embarrassed. If I were you, I would feel the same way. I'm going to make sure I fill in the solution, think before I speak, and be more considerate, so I can make sure that I do my best and make sure that I never do something like this again. And so a kind of a shorter way to do it, if let's say you cross the line with a woman when you're first trying to pick her up, okay? Because this happens a lot. You might say something that's too bold or whatever. And you say this: I am so sorry. I did not mean to cross the line. I merely meant to find out where it's at. Now I know where the line is at. I'm going to be sure that I never cross it again. I'm going to say one more time. I am so sorry. I did not mean to cross the line, but now that I just meant to find out where it's at. Now that I know where it's at, I'll be sure that I do everything I can to make sure I don't cross it again. That will get you out of so many jams. And guys, when you can apologize and she will, in a way that a woman will forgive you every single time, now you no longer worry about screwing up. Imagine going out, never having to worry about screwing up. What type of risks would you take if you never worried about screwing up? What type of things would you say? What would you say that's on your mind that you'd say that you've always wanted to say to a woman if you knew you couldn't, that if you never worried about screwing up? This is the solution to that. And it gets a little bit more granular than this. There's more, details to it, but this is get these basics down and you got it. Attribute number 4, patient listening. Now, guys, you always every guy wants to know the right thing to say, and the right thing to say is nothing. It's always better to listen than it is to speak. Okay. So when you are a patient listener, this doesn't mean that you're just sitting there not saying anything at all. You have to ask questions. And even if you have to interrupt her to ask a question, that's okay. It just shows that you're engaged. So I'll give you an example. So if she says, I was at work and I almost got hit by a bus today, and I was terrified, and I stepped in the street, and you can interrupt and be like, whoa, hold up. Was this today at work? Yeah, it was today at work. And then you let her finish. So you notice how I interrupted there, but it was only to gain clarification, to give more relevance to her story. I'm not interrupting with my own story where she's in the middle of her, speaking, and I say, oh, I almost got hit by a bus one time. Again, that's not what I'm talking about. That's called active listening, asking questions while she's talking to stay engaged. Because we've all been on that date or talked to that one girl or even that one person where it's just like they've been talking for like 15 minutes and you haven't said a word, and you're starting to get dizzy and your eyes are starting to close. That's not what I mean by a good listener. I mean, it could be, but you have to be active in it. You could also do this by reflecting her own words in a different way. So she says, oh my gosh, I almost got hit by a bus today. I was absolutely terrified. You can contribute by being like, oh my gosh, yeah. I mean that you would have missed Halloween, you would have missed all of the holidays, and you kind of recap what she said. Okay. Also, this top one here, taking notes on the things that women say is something that you should be doing all the time. So in my phone, on my notes, I have notes to the girl or the girls that I'm dating at the time. I've got notes on the things, their favorite music, the first time we kissed, what she likes on her pizza, all of these things. So I can anticipate her needs through those notes. It's hard to remember all of the details about another human being. But when you have those notes and you go and grab coffee, hey, I got you this special cafe Americano with 4.5 pumps of vanilla and a little bit of soy milk. Like, those details go a long way. Women want to be heard, and they also want to know that you're paying attention. So when you speak in a way that shows that you're listening, it shows her that she's being heard. So being a good listener is not just about shutting up and saying nothing. It's about speaking in a way that shows that you're digesting what she's saying. And so you've got to use these 3 tactics in order to be able to do that. Okay. Number 5 is absolute certainty. Okay. Now, what I mean by absolute certainty is not necessarily confidence. Confidence is different than certainty. Certainty is what happens past confidence, because confidence means whatever I'm saying, doing, or being, I have a certain level of certainty that this is true. And so confidence is kind of a spectrum. You're a little bit confident. I feel more confident. I feel really confident. But when you are certain, it means that it is absolutely true. It is what it is because I say that it is. Absolute certainty. And here's the thing. Women are a hurricane of emotions that's looking for a man that has a mountain of confidence. And that's what we call certainty. Every woman is an absolute hurricane. I'm telling you, it is, and that's the way that it's supposed to be. And you should embrace and enjoy that. What they're looking for is a mountain, because a mountain isn't affected by a hurricane. No mountains fall over because of a hurricane. And that's what you need to be, that strong. And when she finds that, then she knows that you guys can interact. She's looking for a man to be able to handle her, to be able to handle, all of her emotions. And the higher quality of the woman, the more of this she's looking for. She's looking for a man that has every shred of doubt removed from his confidence. And that's what absolute certainty is. So this is what the number one thing that women are looking for is security. The assurance that no matter what happens, things will work out because my man is certain. My man can plan. My man can get shit done. My man knows how to listen and analyze and make moves. My man knows how to deal with failure. When you add certainty to all these attributes, that this is what makes woman say to her girlfriends, my man, fill in the blank, and she will fill that blank in with everything. Can do this. My man can do that. My man can do that. And she'll be bragging about you nonstop. This also removes the need to be clever or smooth in order to be charming. Because when you are absolutely certain in the words that you say, you don't have to say, so you don't have to be very clever with a girl when she shows up in that dress and trying to think of like, what's a cute, sly way to give her a compliment. All you have to do is look her in the eyes and say, you look absolutely beautiful. And if she has belief in your certainty, that will mean more to her than anything clever that any other man can say to her. And so this takes away the need to be smooth. You just need to be honest as long as you have certainty. So how do you get absolute certainty? One, you have to have an awareness of what you believe is to be true. And a good way to do this is, again, to get into your notebook and simply just journal. Again, this takes 5 minutes. And I know this sounds kind of a little bit meta, but when you bring your thoughts into reality by writing them down, whatever those thoughts are, you start to see who you are. Now, this is the belief version of looking into a mirror. So remember how I told you guys that you need to do your thread cards, your conversation cards in a mirror so you know what you look like record it and look back on it. So you're confident in terms of the way that you feel, that you think, what's going on in your life. 5 minutes of journaling a day. Simply just keep the pen going and just talk about whatever you feel like talk about. It could be really anything. This will help build that certainty, which will also give you mindfulness of your actions, being aware of the things that you're doing. And that's why it's good to have, close friends. That's why it's good to, it's why it's good to get feedback from people. This is why you guys ask Trip all of your questions, is so you can understand your actions and be mindful of them. And next is to have your strategy actively in place. When you have a plan and you're sticking to it, that's what creates certainty. And then next is the allowance and the observation of other people's behavior. Okay, so when you kind of just allow other people to do their thing, if you allow a woman to go off on you and simply just observe it and really see where she's trying to come from, this shows a lack of reactiveness, because a guy who is beyond alpha is not reactive. Even alpha males aren't reactive, but this is when you kind of allow people to be themselves and simply just observe them instead of judge them or be reactive or control them. This shows that this man knows what's going on. This man knows how to handle chaos. Okay, number 6 is decisiveness. This one is really, really important, guys, and I'll tell you why. Decisiveness does not mean fearlessness. Fear is very real. I still experience fear, Trip. I know you still experience fear. Fear is not the enemy. Indecisiveness is the enemy. Women will not punish a man for being nervous, but they will absolutely punish you for hesitating. Absolutely. And this goes for picking her up. This goes for approaching her. This goes for asking her to be your girlfriend, asking her to be your wife, or simply making the choice of what movie to watch tonight, and you don't want her to judge your movie taste, or you don't want her, or where you go to dinner that night. It's being decisive. Make a decision. Now, you might be open to suggestions after you've made your decision, but in terms of what do you want? I want this. What do you want? What do you want to eat? I want tacos. What do you want? What movie do you want to watch? Die Hard. Whatever it is. Being decisive lets her know that you are a man of action. And again, in the deep, deep primal brain, decisiveness shows those who hesitate are the ones that get eaten. Like there's 2 modes of the brain: fight, flight, and then there's another little secret one in the middle, hesitation. And you want to know who dies? The one who hesitates. The one who fights might lose the fight. The one who runs might get caught. The one who hesitates always loses. So decisiveness. Okay. So how to be decisive? Make a plan. Know what you want. Again, this comes through your practice of writing down your thoughts every day. This comes through the practice of doing your thread cards. This comes through the practice of making your plan and setting your goals. That's how you will be able to articulate your plan, because you've already written them down. You already know where you're at. And the next is give your opinion first. Again, don't be afraid for your opinion to be wrong. Don't be afraid for your opinion to be offensive, because if it is, then all you do is apologize. And then she likes you more than she would have even if you were right in the first place. Okay. And 3, take immediate action even when you're scared. And guys, I know this is tough. Oh my God, I know this is tough. And there are a lot of strategies, and there are a lot of unique techniques that I take guys through to help them take action when they're scared. Taking action when you're scared, decisiveness, is a muscle that can be worked, that can be exercised, and that can become very, very strong. You just need to practice this and every single day, and you will become stronger in this. Okay, number 7, the final attribute, trustworthiness. Okay, trustworthiness is really, it's the most important thing. Okay, women have to trust a man. If she does not trust you, you will not get anywhere. You absolutely will not get anywhere at any point in time. Your approach will suck. Your getting her hooked will suck. Your relationship will suck, and the breakup will suck if she doesn't trust you. So how do you get a woman to trust you? Like, what is trust? Okay, trust is integrity over time. And what's integrity? Integrity is when your thoughts, your words, and your actions are all the same. So when you tell a woman, let's make it as basic as this gets, I really like you, and I only want to be with you. You have this feeling inside of you like, wow, this is the only girl for me. Those are your thoughts. And then your words, you tell her, you're the only girl for me. And then your actions are, you're the only girl for me, meaning you don't cheat, you don't stray. She needs to see that over time, and not just in the commitments you make to her, the commitments that you make to everybody, to anybody. And I'll tell you what, in my last relationship, things with this girl went a little bit haywire, and she was a little bit crazy. And the thing that protected me from her doing crazy girl things is she's like, Spence, you have been so consistent. You are the person that you said that you were. So I can't be mad at you. Literally, I was breaking up with this girl, and she wanted to do all the crazy things that a girl in love that doesn't want to be broken up with does. And what completely neutralized her was like, hey, you are a man of your word, which is what made her fall in love in the first place. Guys, this integrity thing, your thoughts, your words, and your actions being the same all of the time, it is the secret to personal power. When you are as good as your words, then you can say, hey, you can make a commitment 6 months from now, and people will take it to the bank. Imagine how easy it is to impress a woman when she believes everything you say. Imagine how easy it is to seduce and hook a woman when she believes everything you say. And she believes it so hard because over time, you have been consistent with your thoughts, your words, and your actions being exactly the same. Now, how to improve your integrity? 1, keep your records. Like, again, take a look at that, at your 5 minutes of self-reflection, and talk about the things that you want. Like, again, write down your goals, write down your daily task list. This is what I'm going to do. So you're held accountable to it. Next, watch the words that you use, because if you want to have this power, this integrity power, and you want your words and your actions, your thoughts to be the same, you really need to watch what you say, because every word that you say is like a check that needs to be cashed, and you need to make sure that you're good for it, that your words are as good as gold. And next is sensitizing your mechanism. Now, what I mean by this is, when you say to someone, hey, I'll be there at 8 o'clock, and you show up at 8:05, not many people would consider you to be late. When I make an appointment, and any of my guys make an appointment, and we have a session together at 8 o'clock, I sit by the Skype at 7:59 and 55 seconds, and I wait till exactly 8 o'clock, because if I'm 8 o'clock and 30 seconds, I feel as guilty as most people would if they showed up at 8:45. And this is what I mean by sensitizing your mechanism. Be as precise as you can So your words and your actions are as precisely similar as they can be. This gives you wiggle room with your word with women. And trust me, when things don't go as planned with women, and I guarantee you they're not going to, I don't care who you are, okay, she's going to use your words against you. And if your words are tight to your actions, then she can't. I mean, she could disagree with you, but she can't call you a liar. And that is the biggest turn off for women. It's guaranteed to make a woman run. So let's talk about like what's standing in your way from embodying these qualities, because some of these qualities are not revolutionary. Everyone knows you need to be trustworthy, but what are the things that are standing in your way? Well, the first thing is the language that you use to interact with yourself. It's funny. We have a conversation going on in our head all of the time, and this conversation dictates everything that we do, say, and think. And most people, if not all people, have no idea how to use language to interact with yourself to get you to do whatever it is that you desire to do. I mean, we always, I was getting some Snapchats from some guys the other day and saying, hey, I want to just be able to say something to get this girl to do what I want her to do. And I told him, if you had that ability to do that for yourself, like how do you interact with yourself to get you to follow through with your word, or to get yourself motivated to do something? You would then have the answer of how to do that. But since he didn't, he doesn't. Okay. Next is poor project management skills. Okay. Working on yourself is really the only way to have sustained success with women. Working on yourself is the only way to be able to attract women without even really trying to get them to notice you. And when you work on yourself, that project slips through, a lot of things slip through the cracks. You miss a workout, or, you missed a day of work, or you didn't do your thread cards. You're just not doing those things. And it's a scheduling thing. And another thing that you've done is you've disqualified yourself by failing in an essential quality. So again, you don't have to be rich to attract women, but you also can't be like flat broke either. Like if you're flat broke, you need to work on that and not work on getting women. You don't have to be in shape to attract women, but you can't be, severely obese. Like there are these certain like basic qualities that men have to have. They don't have to be excellent in order to attract top level women, but you have to have them. And that could be one of the things standing in your way too. One of those things need to be massively improved. Okay. So how do you succeed in this? Okay. It's super simple. I mean, you need a specific strategy for you. I've given you guys some basic strategies that you can use, but you need to find a strategy that's specific for you, that doesn't, a lot of people want to work on their flaws, like turn your flaws into strengths. No, you want to manage your flaws and magnify your strengths. And that's how you get a lot of success in a very short amount of time. Manage your shortcomings and magnify the things that you're great at. And you need a specific strategy for that. Next is consistency. There is nothing worthwhile that is done instantly. Tony Robbins says it. He says, greatness takes a while. I think that was the phrase, something like that. But being great and amazing, having something incredible, it takes time. And so that doesn't mean just like hours on the clock or days on the calendar. What that means is it takes consistent behavior in order to get things to change. And next, you need accountability, because you could have the greatest plan in the world and you can create all this space to consistently do the things that you need to do. But if you slip, what's the consequence? And a lot of times the consequence of letting ourselves down isn't enough. And so we need other forms of accountability to keep us on point, to keep us focused, to keep us moving when we want to quit, when we get distracted, when we feel like it's taking too long or it's too hard. We need something in place or someone in place to say, no, this is what you want. The reason the reason you want this is because it's so amazing. And the fact that it's so amazing means it's going to come with hardships. Keep moving. And so you get those 3 things in place for you to develop these 7 strategies, and you're on your way. Okay. So to take yourself to the next level, get yourself an accountability partner. Whether that's a coach, whether that's a buddy, whether that's a brother, whatever. Have an accountability partner, someone that knows your goals, someone that knows how much it means to you, and someone that knows your strategy. Next, put your neck in the line. Like, don't settle for less, guys. Do not settle for less. Don't settle for what you think you can get. Close your eyes. Imagine that you've got a magic genie and rub that thing and say, this is what I want. And then state that out to the world. Put that in your notebook. Put that up on your whiteboard or out publicly. Like, put yourself out there. Put yourself in position to fail. Because remember, when you fail the right way, you actually become more attractive than if you succeeded. Succeeded every time. And then next, you need to make sure that you're doing things right. So you need to talk to someone that has already been there, someone that's at least a step or 2 further than you're at. So when you reflect to see if, like, hey, how am I doing? And things maybe aren't working the way that you want to, you got to make sure that you're doing things the right way so that you can get the maximum results in the shortest amount of time. And if you do these 3 things all together, I mean, it honestly doesn't take a lot of time. I mean, some of those guys that I talked to you guys about before earlier in the presentation, like I work with them, and sometimes it was 6 weeks or 12 weeks to completely have a massive transformation where women are treating these guys like rock stars. They're constantly blowing up their phone, asking them when they want to hang out. Their biggest problems on a Friday night is, which girl do I say yes to? And that actually becomes a problem. That's a whole nother webinar that we can get into when you guys get to that level. But those are real problems that these guys are facing, and it doesn't take a lot of time. It takes commitment, it takes consistency, and it takes you really believing that there is more value in appropriate failure than there is in constant success. It's absolutely true, guys. Okay. Now I want to talk about how I can help you out. So I've got a series of different programs based on, whatever you guys are dealing with, whatever your goals are. I cater it specifically to you. I give you that specific plan, that step-by-step instructions, those boxes that you need to check in order for you to have the love life that you want. And it doesn't matter what it is, guys. It does not matter what it is. You want a long-term girlfriend to move in with you and possibly get married? We can do that. You can do that. If you want to be, a playboy and date 5 different girls at a time, you can do that. If you want to just want to start being confident to talk to women and just getting a bunch of dates, you can do that. And wherever your imagination is, you can do that. It just takes the right plan, the right steps, and then the right execution and accountability. And so whatever that is, you guys can go to tripadvice.com/apply and apply to work with me. I'm taking in applications, and I only work with a small handful of people at a time because I like to put in all of my attention and create all the space that I need to help you get those results, because I guarantee results in my coaching, guys. Absolutely. If you show up and do what is expected of you, what you've committed to doing, it's only a matter of time before you get what it is that you want. Trip, you still there with me, buddy?
Yeah, I'm still here. I just want to jump in and say, Spencer is, honest to God, one of the best coaches that I've ever met. And that is one of the reasons why, I want him here to help you. He's like one of my secret weapons when it comes to getting guys results in coaching. And every guy he's ever worked with that he's told me about, people that have found him or people that I've sent to him, I've only gotten rave reviews in the form of guys getting true results. Okay, so what he's saying here is he's going to help hold you accountable, but give you the right information that you specifically need to be able to get to the point where you have the dating life that you want. You know, again, getting a girlfriend, being able to break through that shyness, becoming more fearless, and knowing exactly what to do. So it's about implementing the 7 qualities that you just learned here, but also some other things that he didn't share with you that are some of his secret sauce in order to be able to get the results you want in your dating life. And he's helped anyone from ages 18 all the way to like 60, 70 years old. So it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter, you know, if, you know, you are old and underweight or fat, you know, I mean, at the very bottom line, he's able to help you no matter where you're at. And so he's offering this for you now. Now, here's the thing. It is an application form. He is not going to be able to accept everyone, just for many reasons. You know, there's only so much time that he has, but, you know, not everyone is really qualified to be able to do coaching with him, because he wants to only help people that are very, very serious about getting to the next level. Some people aren't taking this too seriously. They're kind of just like, oh, you know, it'd be cool to like see what I can do. But really, he wants to work with people who want to get the result, because there's no secret here. Coaching is not magic. You know what I mean? He's not just going to be able to say things to you and you instantly get results. It's about you being able to work alongside with him. But here's the great news, is that doing it with him is going to make it about 100 times easier than doing it with yourself. Okay, so there is obviously a massive benefit to doing coaching and doing it with someone who's able to get you the exact results you want. But again, you have to apply, and you know, he and myself are going to sift through applications. Right now, I'm super busy working on other things in my business, so I'm not able to do coaching right now, which is why I'm like, I want people to get coaching. And so he's kind of like certified under me. You know, it's like I endorse him and I know that he's going to be teaching you the right things, and more importantly, getting you results in terms of the program that you guys do together. So he is the one now who's going to be helping you. I'm only going to be keeping this application open for a little bit. And so it's up to you to kind of go right now and apply as fast as you are hearing this to get your application in, because Spencer is going to have to get on the phone with all the guys who have applied and make sure that they are right for doing coaching. So again, it's a little bit of a process here. You have to apply, and then once you apply, you get on the phone, and once you get on the phone, you guys have a conversation. And here's the good news, is like, whether or not he accepts you when you guys get on the phone call is very powerful, because it's going to uncover some of the deeper problems that you specifically are having. Because, you know, we all know everyone is in a different place, so it all depends. But I really urge you to check this out. And by the way, obviously there is an investment for coaching, but the whole application process and even getting on the phone with Spencer is free. So it's just about him being able to find the right clients to work with, because he's only going to work with guys he knows he can help and get the right results. So if you feel like you were that person, then go to tripadvice.com/apply. You'll see the form there. Fill it out. By the way, you do have to be 18 or older. This is only for people who are 18 or older. But if you are, then you are already pre-approved. So apply and see where he can help you. Spencer, do you have any other thing to add in terms of how beneficial your coaching is? And then after that, we'll go into some questions, and we can answer questions about anything regarding today's presentation or anything about the application or the coaching process. Spencer, I'm going to hand it over to you really quickly if you have anything else to say about the application or your coaching.
So I talked to you guys about, I kept talking about the thing that women want more than an alpha, okay? Because every guy wants to be an alpha male, the top 10%, but there is a top 0.0001% of men. And I'm going to share with you what that is. Women don't want the best. Women want something of which no other woman has ever had. And that embodies everything. It embodies alpha and beta in a creative way that has never been seen by anybody. And that's called an omega. It is everything, but in a way that is unlike anything. And when you can become this type of man, there is no competition. Other men cannot compete with you. Because you are one of a kind. You're not the best. you're one of a kind in the best way. And this is the secret of the coaching that I give, which is why I do private coaching, because I help you be that version of yourself, the best version of you that can offer women something that no other man, including myself, including Trip, can ever give them. And if you have that and you know how to demonstrate that, the women don't know how to handle it because they just have never seen it before. It's super, super powerful. And that's what this gives you.
Awesome. So what I want to do now is I want to, once again, just reiterate, if you want to apply, you must be over 18. Go to tripadvice.com/apply. This is to apply to do coaching with Spencer. And right now, we're going to be taking any questions. So someone asked already, what if you live outside the U.S.? That's fine. Doesn't matter where you're from. It's as long as you're able to at least hop on a call. Then, Spencer does all forms of coaching, phone coaching, in-person coaching. So he'll make sure he tailors it to you. So just go ahead and apply. Again, really the only precondition is being 18 or older, and then being able to fill out the application in as greatest detail as possible to see if you actually, will get accepted and are someone who is going to be able to work with Spencer, because he can't help everyone. So it really depends on how you fill out the application. We only want really good guys who are out to get solid results, positive results. We've had in the past people hating on women and saying how they want to, do coaching because they want to get back at some ex-girlfriends. We're not going to take you on. That's not the kind of people we want to work with. We want to work with people, good guys who want to get results and be able to help themselves. So go ahead and apply. Again, all you got to be is over 18 to do this. So go check it out, tripadvice.com/apply. And now we are taking questions. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask in the chat, and we'll have Spencer answer them. So go ahead, ask your questions. Again, this is only questions regarding either coaching, the application, or anything we specifically went over today on today's presentation. So I'll let you guys start asking questions, and in the meantime, Spencer and I can have a chat. And you can see here right now, again, the URL is right here on the screen. Very simple, Trip at 2Ps, and go and apply for coaching with Spencer. You can also see it in the chat. Okay, someone said, Spencer, do you ever have meetups?
I do have meetups. I've done some in Chicago, and I've done some in Miami. But yeah, I do meetups as well, like group stuff for sure.
Cool, very cool. What other questions you guys have? Yeah. Spencer coaches all around the world though, so it doesn't matter where you are. He can come to you. You can come to him. Everything is very tailored. So it's not a question of distance. It's all just a question of if you're the right person to be able to receive coaching.
Right. Yeah. I've flown to Mexico. I've flown to London. I've flown to the West Coast, East Coast. So yeah, I coach all over the place. Yeah.
There's group coaching options. There's all different options. Really the best part about it is, again, he's tailoring it to you and exactly what you need. That's what the phone call is all about. Getting on the phone and diagnosing what your issues are and seeing where your problems are. Okay. Someone said a rough estimate of pricing. It's a very large scale and it all depends. So I would just get on the phone. I mean, I would say this: if you can't afford anything less than 1,000, this is not for you. So don't even bother to apply. But I would just know that for coaching, for getting these kinds of results, it's an intensive process. So again, it's a large range, but Spencer will diagnose and help you out. Any other questions here that we can take? Any other questions at all? What do you guys got? Again, questions about the application, questions about the coaching process, questions about anything we talked about and Spencer talked about on today's webinar. Anything? What do you guys got for us? Spencer, how you feeling, man? You feeling good?
Yeah, feeling great, dude. I'm trying to open up this Q&A section on it, and it's still buffering. So I'm gonna have to rely on you to
yeah, I'll be navigating. We already have a bunch of people filling out the applications, so thank you to everyone who's filled them out. So if you again want to get in here to make sure you can get a spot in his coaching program, I would fill it out as soon as possible and don't wait. So go ahead and do that again, tripadvice.com/apply. Adam said, where can I find out more about the meetups?
Well, so I do meetups on meetup.com. I don't have any current meetups right now. So yeah, I don't have any current meetups at the moment. So I kind of take them as I get clients in and kind of introduce people to other people. So we can all kind of learn together. But I do like online webinars every Wednesday. So I do that every single week.
Cool. Someone said, how do you get people to help you stay on track?
I mean, you kind of have to frame it yourself. For instance, my brother is trying to not eat at night. He's got a problem where he goes downstairs and eats a couple granola bars at 1 a.m. And so he gave me his plan of how he was going to do it. And he said, I need you to hold me accountable. And I asked him how. And he said, check in on me a couple times a week and ask me how my progress is going and what my weight is at. And so he was able to guide me on how to hold him accountable instead of him just saying, hey, can you make sure I'm doing good? So give people parameters of what you expect out of them.
Cool. It's a good answer. My thought is I'm not saying it's not impossible to find people to hold you accountable, but the reason, why we're offering you this coaching spot is because that's exactly what Spencer does.
Right.
So Spencer, when you're working with a coach, it's in their best interest to get you the results. That's what they're trying to do here, what Spencer will try to do for you. So you can get someone else to do it for you. I'm not saying it's not possible, but they're not really in your best interest because they got their own things going on, right? They have their own life going on. But when you're working with a coach, that person that's his job. This is Spencer's job, is to get you results, and he's going to stop at nothing to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's the difference between what I do for my friends and what I do for my clients. When a client pays a coach, what that payment is for is permission to be on your ass to follow through on the things that you say. So that's really the best way to do it, is to get someone to hold you accountable. You need to put yourself out there. You need to put your money on the line. You need to put your reputation on the line. You need to put something on the line that holds you accountable and have someone kind of hold that for you. That is.
And also, I want to just chime in here. Sorry to interrupt, but it's the coaching process is not just about accountability. That's half of it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because you also, in the other half, is getting the right information that's tailored to you to know what you need to do. So it's about, you guys formulating a plan. That's Spencer's job, to formulate the plan for you and figure out what you need help in and what you need to do and where you need to begin. So someone asked here, these 7 steps seem for someone who is confident to already make the first move, or ask her out, where should I start before getting to these steps? So I'll have you answer that in a second, Spencer. But just know that if you are somewhere where you feel like you can't even attempt these steps, it's not a prerequisite. There's no prerequisite here except for being 18 years old. Wherever you are in the process of your journey, whether you've talked to a few girls, whether you've had girlfriends, or whether you've never talked to a girl in your life, then that is the issue, and that's where you're at, and that's where Spencer will come in and help. But I'll have you answer that, Spencer. Someone said, where should I start before getting to these steps?
What's the problem? Is the problem just the approach anxiety?
Well, this person thinks, I mean, I don't want to lead you to the answer, Spencer, but I just think that this person said that you need to have the confidence for these 7 steps. I don't think you really do, but that's what this person is saying. It's these 7 steps, there needs to be something done before you get to this point. I don't know, maybe there is. What do you think? These are your 7. By the way, they're not steps, they're qualities. So, what do you think, Spencer?
Okay, so here's what I think. I think I'm gonna pick up a thread card that says laundry, and I would ask you to talk about laundry for 60 seconds. If you've got the confidence to do that, you've got the confidence to start, because it's all about this being comfortable being you. And when you do that thread card conversation exercise, you take an arbitrary word and you simply just speak as yourself, and that builds confidence. Do that in the mirror, do that recording yourself and looking at it. And if that's the only thing that you did, for the next 7 days, you practice for an hour, I promise you that you would be way more confident to talk to anyone, to show up anywhere. So simply just start there.
Cool. Very cool. Someone said, what is the next level above an alpha? I don't think there is a next level above an alpha.
Well, no, that's what I was talking about. That's the omega. He's
the
not
omega.
He's not.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I forgot about that. Go ahead, Spencer.
He's not the best. He may be the best, but he is unlike anything that anyone has ever had. That there is, that's what makes something precious. It's rarity. And when you are confident in yourself and you are unlike any other man, that's what sets you apart. And that transcends alpha male. That transcends alpha male all the time. Some of my guys are stealing girls away from professional athletes. Like, these guys got money, fame, and access, but for some reason that women are falling for my guys that work with me instead, when they don't have all those things. Why? Because there is a whole bunch of professional athletes out there. There's a whole culture of professional athletes out there. But when you offer a woman something she's never had before, it has more of an allure. And so omega is the top, and you have to know who you are in order to do that. To be alpha, you have to know that you're better than everybody else. That doesn't mean you know who you are, just means you know you're better than them. When you're omega, you know who you are and you know how to execute it.
Someone said they just joined. Are the 7 qualities, do they have to do with high status or popularity?
No, not at all. And they don't really even really have to be with really outgoingness either. You can be you don't need any of those things. Those are certainly attributes that are admirable, that can be used for attraction, but they're not necessary.
Cool. Spencer, why don't you tell us just like really quickly some results that you've gotten, some guys that you just have recently worked with?
Oh man. One guy that I was working with picked up a girl in Vegas that I swear was just, she was like made in a lab. I mean, it's just the most gorgeous girl I've ever seen. And he was able simply just to she was literally walking by as, a group of hot girls walk by, and, you're always told, don't stop women while they're walking. Well, he broke the rule and he did it. And now he's, flying back and forth to Vegas to go see that girl. So, that's one guy. Another guy that I work with, he started dating, I don't know where he met this girl. I think it was at a bar somewhere downtown. He met a girl that is not a flight attendant, but she works for the airlines, and now she's the one flying him all over the country and all over the world because she just absolutely adores him. She also helped him move, by the way. He just told me. So that's a big step. That's a big step as well. And then one other guy that I'm working with, he hired me because he was hung up on this one girl, and she was like his whole world, and she, wasn't into him. So he's like, I'm just not good with girls in general. And so we worked together for about 3 months, and he got really, really confident. And I actually went out with him to go, run some game. And he was, there were points he was outperforming me. It was fantastic. And now he's actually dating that. So he dated a bunch of girls, and then he got that confidence to go back to that girl that he's been wanting for 10 years. And they actually have started dating now for about a month. So it's all embodied in these same things, in these same attributes that I'm talking about.
Amazing. Quick update here. We have a bunch of applications that are just flying in. So if you want the chance to get accepted into the coaching program for you, I would go right now, tripadvice.com/apply to get a chance to work with Spencer. We're gonna call it now. There's not many other questions here. I want to thank everyone who joined us. We had, at our highest, almost 200 people watching live, but that was like in real time. So we must have had at least over 1,000 people watch. So I want to thank everyone who's still here now, and thank you for joining us. Thanks, Spencer. And again, if you want a chance at coaching to get fast, very fast results, go to tripadvice.com/apply and get a chance to work with Spencer Burnett, one of the best coaches, my secret weapon for getting guys results as fast as possible. Any last words, Spencer?
No, thanks for having me on, Trip. I always like talking dating and seduction and stuff with you and your guys.
Awesome. Cool. Guys, thanks again. Thank you, everyone. And Spencer, thank you, man. Thanks for putting together this presentation and talking to the TripAdvice crew here. We appreciate it.
No problem, buddy.
All right, man. Take care. Take care, everyone. Don't forget, there's the link, tripadvice.com/apply.